Welcome to the Kindness Principles podcast. I believe kindness is a cultural strategy that empowers people to create meaningful lives, healthier relationships, stronger organizations, and a world where everyone can thrive. My name is Cindy Smarsh, and I'm really glad you're here. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today is your lucky day because I have a very special guest with me, Mark Carpenter, and he is a keynote speaker, an author, and facilitator on a mission to bring greater humanity into business leadership. He's worked with organizations across industries to help them develop people skills to more intentionally lead people and enjoy greater productivity, higher levels of commitment, and reduced turnover. Mark is the author of 2 best-selling books, including Lead Like a Person, Not Like a Position. Here I am, Vanna Whiting the book for those of you watching this on YouTube. And he is also co-host of the Infuse Compassion podcast and a member of the National Speakers Association. Welcome, Mark. Thank you
Cindy,
for
it
being
is
here.
so great to be with you. Thank you so much. And you can Vanna White my books anytime you want. Just so you have my full permission to Vanna White my books.
Okay, I'm Vanna Whiting them again, folks. If you're listening to this only, head over to YouTube to Cindy Smarsh, the Kindness Principles company, and check out this beautiful green book of Mark's, Lead Like a Person, Not Like a Position. First of all, I love the title because it says it right there. It just tells you right now, what the whole goal is with the book, and to really, or it seems to me anyway, to nurture leaders or teach leaders to bring their humanity into their work and into the organization they're serving. And of course, to me, that is kind. That's kind to the leader, that's kind to the team, that's kind to the company, the customers, and everybody who's involved. And so that's why you're here, Mark, because I'm so impressed with how those things align with what I'm doing too as a workplace well-being expert. So tell me about leaders being people, not a position. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, and I appreciate the way that you led into this, Cindy, about this is kind leadership, but I don't want it to be confused for nice leadership.
No.
Nice leaders don't hold people accountable. They're soft on problems. They don't step up to issues. Kind leaders step up to those issues, but they do it in a way that they're treating people with humanity. And so this is where I came to that lead like a person, not like a position, is leaders who swing too far the other direction. They say, you made one mistake, you're out of here. Or they berate people for simple mistakes. They don't address accountability in kind ways. They address them in authoritarian ways. That's leading like a position. It's throwing their position power around. And so I like to get that spectrum in there. We're not throwing our power around. We're not being soft and quote, quote, nice. We're being kind. We're treating people like people. And the way I describe it often is there's the leaders you love and there's the leaders you leave.
Oh, yes, I love that. Yes.
And in fact, let me play this game with you. This is totally unrehearsed for everybody listening.
Okay.
We have not practiced.
See, he's putting me on the spot.
I am. I'm going to put Cindy on the spot here. You are going to represent your listeners right now.
Okay.
So I want you to think of a leader you loved. Don't name names. We don't need to get the names out here. But I want you to think about what characterized the leaders you love. What did they do that made them the leaders you loved?
They did what they said. They followed through. I felt like they knew me as more than just their employee, kind of. I mean, they didn't know everything about me. We didn't hang out on the weekends, but they kind of knew me. They had a sense of me, and it mattered. And then I found my favorite leaders over the years very appreciative, like not big buzzes and whistles all the time, but just like, hey, Cindy, thanks for bringing up that idea at last week's meeting. I've been chewing on it and I'll get back to you with, blah, 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 or whatever. Just like this honest, authentic, um, you know, um, knowing me, but I don't know, just feeling like I mattered.
Those are the answers I get most of the time when
Is
I
it?
ask people that question about the leaders they love. So let's
Hmm.
switch it around. I want
Okay.
you to think about the
Oh,
leaders you left. And
I've got one.
sometimes the leaders we left, we didn't actually leave them, but we wished we could have. We
Yes.
may not have left them physically, but we leave them emotionally.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
So
Right.
what are the characteristics of the leaders we left?
One flashed in front of me quickly. The worst person I ever worked directly for, and she micromanaged us like, I felt like she was like breathing down my neck all the time and didn't just let me flow in my work or whatever. So that was one thing that was really. And then literally there was passive aggressive stuff. Like if she dropped the ball, somehow she created a scenario of blaming the rest of us for balls she was dropping, didn't take responsibility for anything. It was crazy. She really, I don't think she belonged in a leadership. She would flunk your quizzes in the book. For sure.
Yeah. And so again, those are
Not
answers
to
that I
be mean.
typically
I'm
get.
sorry.
Those are answers I typically get from people about the leaders
Okay.
you left.
Mm,
And so think about those answers, those characteristics.
yeah.
They really didn't have much to do with the person's job capabilities. They had
Oh,
everything to do with how they treated people.
that is so true.
That's
Yes.
the difference between the leader you love and the leader you leave. The leader you love leads like a person. The leader
Yeah.
you left led like a position.
Oh my.
That's
Wow.
why they were pulling their authority. That's why they were taking
Cool.
credit for everything, because they had the position power to be able to do that. But the other person
Yes.
had the position power, but they acknowledged the good work that everybody did. They
Yes.
treated you like a person and didn't treat you like a position. And so
Yes.
that's the distinction. And the
Yes.
leaders we leave, and sometimes it's literally we leave them, but as I said before, sometimes it's we just emotionally leave them.
Right.
That comes at great cost to an organization.
Oh,
Turnover is super costly,
yes.
but just as costly, lack of engagement. If
Absolutely. Let's talk about what that looks like. It's like they either resign with an email, right? Or they resign themselves to the conditions they don't like. And so then they just what I find, and you tell me though, expand please. I find they come to work and do the bare minimum. They get
yeah,
in, they get out. They're not emotionally invested anymore. They're really probably depressed, kind of, and
yes,
just they're surviving, kind of. I have to go here to pay my bills.
yeah, that's it. And you did an episode a few weeks back about quiet quitting.
Yes,
That
quiet
which is kind
quitting.
of
Mhm.
the newer phrase for this.
Yes.
Back in my day, we referred to it as RIP, retired in place. They quit.
Yes.
They quit. They just never left the company.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and and that's why it happens when people
Yeah.
feel like what they do doesn't matter.
Hmm.
They're not going to give their best. And who has the greatest impact on people feeling like they matter? It's their direct report leader.
Yes.
It's that
Yes.
person who sees their work every day and who either, going back to your example, thanks you for the work you're doing and recognizes it,
Hmm.
or takes credit for it themselves and only
Yes.
criticizes you for the problems.
Yes. And
And
then,
that's going to lead people to retire in place and to not give their
yeah,
best engagement and their best effort on the job.
for sure. And you give a lot of statistics and research in your book here that helps us understand the impact of both of those things. I remember reading about the turnover costs when people do literally resign and leave being like 50 to 200% of the salary So the literal dollars, but also then the lower productivity, the lower morale of the team. So then things just, the work can't get completely done because everybody's now overworked trying to do the work of the person while they're getting replaced. And then there's the training curve. And I mean, it's just astronomical.
Yeah. And think about the leaders we leave. One person leaves and the other people spend a lot of time thinking, should I leave too?
Oh, yeah, that's
because they're seeing why the person left and they're going, they're probably better off than I am right now. And so they're not spending their work cycle so much focused on work as they are focusing on protecting themselves.
So it's distracting as well.
There you go. It becomes a big distraction.
Okay, well, so to lead more like a person, there's 3 skills you talk about very thoroughly in the book. So you want to tell us what those are and just give us some goods around that so we can, those that are listening can really think about, gosh, where am I with these 3 approaches?
Yeah. So go out to your favorite AI platform or go to Google, whatever you want to, and ask the question, what are the most important skills for leaders to have? You're going to get a laundry list. Yeah, you're going to get this huge list of skills. And my focus is on developing frontline leaders who lead like a person. Okay. And the reason I focus there is a lot of times we take a good individual contributor, we throw them into a leadership position, and we don't give them any leadership skills.
The leadership gap you're talking about, right?
That's exactly it.
Because they're great at their jobs, but they don't know how to, they don't have management experience or education.
There you go. Okay. And so you think about that transition. Fundamentally, the biggest part of their new job or the newest part of their job is leading people, but they only have position skills. So it's no wonder they act like a position instead of like a person because they don't have the right skills. And we can't take that whole laundry list we're going to get in our search of all the skills leaders need and give them to a first-time leader and say, do all this, and it's going to be magic. And so I've identified 3 skills that I believe if people will do those, the other people leadership skills will come with it. Number 1, listen intently. Listen to what your people have to say. Don't feel like you have to have all the answers all the time. This especially happens when somebody is promoted to a leadership position on the front line from the team that they previously worked on. They get this false perception that, okay, I'm the leader. Now I have to have all the answers.
Yeah, that's
so instead of collaborating with these people, I'm going to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
And so listening.
Or fix it myself, even. Some leaders think, oh, I got to go fix that myself, even.
That's it. That's it. And they do that because they're not listening to their people. They're not listening to their people saying, I got this. They're jumping in and saying, I have to do this all myself. They need to do it. And part of that, again, is leading like a position, because what have they gotten credit for doing in the past? For taking over and doing things. That's it. That's it. Now, I think that problem also gets exacerbated by how their leaders set the expectations for them. So that first-time leader, certainly frontline leaders, they have to do tasks as well. There are going to be deliverables they have to do.
Sure.
But they also need to be given the time and the space to lead people. And if their mid-level manager that's above them is saying, hey, where's these deliverables? Where is these deliverables? That's all they're going to focus on is the deliverables. They're not going to focus on their people. And so that kind of almost forces them into leading like a position instead of like a person.
Yeah, because they probably don't feel they have time in the hours of the day to like do both, right?
Yeah, you probably remember the example in the book of an HR leader who a manager came to him, a senior level manager came to him and said, hey, this frontline leader is struggling. We did a 360 review and his team members don't like him and his peers can't ever get anything from him. And the HR professional said, well, how often is he holding one-on-ones with his team members? Is, oh, he doesn't have time to do that. He has 10 people on his team. He can't do one-on-ones with them. And he said the HR professional said, well, he should be having one-on-ones at least twice a month with each team member to really listen to them and to understand what's going on. He goes, oh, he doesn't have time to do that. He has too much work to do.
That is his work to do, though.
And the HR professional said, what percentage of time do you feel like that person should be focusing on leading people versus doing tasks? And he thought about it for a minute and he said, 90% tasks, 10% leading people.
Wrong. Try again.
And this is where the HR professional is going, you're the problem.
Yeah.
You're actually creating this problem for your frontline leader because of that expectation level. It's no wonder his people don't feel like he listens to them, because he isn't given time and space to listen. That's it. So
what's the percentage that we want? I mean, is it 50-50? Is it 40-60? Is it 70? Like, I know it's different every situation, every size of company, but what would be an ideal to strive for, do you think, if you're really measuring this?
It's going to vary by the type of position and the size of the team.
Okay.
If you've got a large team, you have to have really good dedicated time. I would say for this person that had 10 people on his team, I would say it would have to be almost close to 50-50.
Okay.
And maybe 45-65 either direction, but pretty close to 50-50. If I have 3 or 4 people who report to me, well, that can be a smaller percentage. The key is, I really actually liked the approach that HR director had when he said he should be talking to his team members one-on-one at least twice a month. Okay, well, then look at the number of team members.
Yeah.
How many team members do they have to have a 30-minute meeting with them twice a month? Add up those hours. Okay, what percentage of their day is that going to be? That's going to give you a good percentage time, and then probably add a little more to that for other times where you're going to be focused on people leadership, not just on tasks.
Yeah, I had a friend who recently was moved into a leadership position, and I'm happy to say that his supervisor, his leader, said, eventually you're going to be talking to people all the time. That's what you're going to be doing. To kind of help him understand that, he was in a position where he was accomplishing a lot of, deliverables or whatever. But the leader even said to him, because he said, one of the things he told his boss a few weeks in was, more and more people are coming in my door. And it's taken up a lot of time. And he said, well, eventually that's what you will do most of the time. And that's okay. Like that's the job, right?
If your job is leading people, you have to provide time and space for the people.
Yes. And then listen well, you're saying.
And then listen well during that.
Yeah. Now, you talk about listening. Now there's two other skills too, right?
And actually that leads very naturally to the second skill that I focus on.
Okay.
So listen intently, communicate intentionally.
Okay. Intentionally is a cool word to put at the end of that other word. So tell me about that.
So listening intently helps you really understand what's going on so you can communicate with intention. And the intention needs to be that we're on the same page, that we're understanding things with each other. Part of that is being really clear with your direction, whether it's corrective direction or supportive direction, being very clear with that direction and not getting into vague words. You will hear leaders a lot of times say, you just got to be more committed. Take initiative.
What does that mean, though?
Be proactive.
What does it look like?
And that's the problem. I had a leader who said that to me once, and I was like, okay, well, I feel like I am taking initiative. What do I need to be doing differently? Well, you just got to do more.
More what?
More of what?
Yeah, more what?
And so I literally made a list of what I did to show that I was taking initiative. The next time I had a review with my manager, I showed those to her. And she goes, no, that's not it.
Oh my gosh.
So what does that do to the team member?
The morale, I would think, would sink.
There you go. It doesn't create change. It creates discouragement.
Yes.
One of the best ways that you can be really clear is, it's going to sound funny to some people, tell a story.
Oh, yes. You're a master storyteller.
Story. Yeah. So that's the other book that I have is Master Storytelling in the workshop that I teach. but tell a story that illustrates this is what initiative looks like.
Okay.
This is what proactive looks like to me.
Okay.
Give them an illustration. So you're painting the picture in their head of what that behavior looks like. That will make you a more effective communicator as a leader.
Nice.
And some people will say, I don't have time to sit around and tell stories all day. Well, that's not what I mean.
It doesn't have to
what
be
I mean
a long story, right?
No.
It's just a definitive story, right?
It's going to be a 2 to 3 minute illustration. Exactly.
Okay.
That illustrates the point that I'm trying to make. But people remember stories better, and they actually act on them better.
Do they act on them better even? Oh,
wow. There is a great piece of research where they took 2 groups, actually 3 groups, and they gave them the same information. The first group, they gave it to them just in data. They gave them the data dump. This is the information you need to remember. The second group, they gave them the data, but they also showed charts and graphs. Key leadership skill, right? Charts and graphs. We're going to get the charts and graphs up there.
For those visual learners out there.
The third group, they gave them the information in the form of a story, in the form of an illustration. 2 weeks later, they assessed how well they remembered the information. And there was 2 surprises in this. Number one, for me, the surprise was there was no statistical difference between the first and second group.
Oh, really?
Charts and graphs made no difference.
Charts and graphs didn't help. Oh, okay.
Statistically such a small difference that it was not a difference.
Wow.
The third group remembered more of the information, remembered it more accurately. Wow. And then this was the other surprising finding for me. They found it more credible.
Really? They found the information. There was a little story attached to it.
They found the information delivered in a story more credible because it was more relatable to them.
Oh, wow. That's such good information, Mark. I hope people's ears are really ringing right now. Yeah, that's really powerful.
So develop that skill of communicating intentionally to make the point to get people moving in the direction that you want to. It's not just disseminating information. That I think is the mistake, particularly that first-time leaders make, is they say, well, I'm communicating, I'm disseminating information.
Yeah.
But what's your intent in doing that? Be intentional about why you're communicating that. Help people see what does that information mean to them and to their job.
Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. So we have listen intently, communicate intentionally, and the third is
recognize individually.
Okay.
So we got the ins at the beginning of each of those. Yeah, recognize people individually. Okay. Cindy, when you were talking about the leader you loved, one of the points you made was that she saw me as a person.
Yep.
She knew who I was, and she acknowledged the good work that I did.
Yes.
The leader you left took all the credit for themselves and only really talked to you about problems.
Yes.
That in itself right there makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Now, I want to make it really clear. Recognizing people is not giving them a paycheck.
Oh, can I just say that's one of my favorite things you write in here, that a paycheck does not equal recognition. Yeah. Tell the listeners how you define a paycheck.
A paycheck is fulfillment of a contract.
The fulfillment of a
paycheck is a fulfillment of a contract.
Right.
I am contracted to work for you to do this job for this pay. Recognition is always an individual type of situation. Because sometimes people think of recognition as, well, we have this program where you can get rewards or you can get whatever.
Yes.
That's a program, but the best recognition comes from a direct leader who just acknowledges people's good work, who's very specific about what they do, who is very clear about what the impact was on that, and who does it in a timely enough manner that there's a connection between the behavior and the recognition.
Oh, yes. It positively reinforces what you want as well, right? So everybody wins. Again, this is kind. This is kindness that's powerful, right? It's
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah. So the myth about recognition, I think, maybe you find this too, is that what they think we're saying is, oh, you got to give out rewards and awards and have a big wow appreciation dinner every, so or whatever. And or the opposite of that, that recognition is giving them a nice performance review at the end of the year. And
Yeah.
that's like so not what we're saying here.
Yeah. There's a difference between rewards and recognition.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
Say
rewards are a way of recognizing, but they are
yeah.
not the primary way.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the research on this is absolutely startling. They asked people, how often do you feel like you should get acknowledged for the work that you do? And just simple acknowledgments of, Cindy, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being such a great podcast host and doing this great interview. Or thank you for completing this task. You did such a great job on that. It's simple recognition like that. They ask people, how often do you expect to get that type of recognition? And they said 2 to 3 times a month.
Okay.
That doesn't seem like that much.
No.
They asked them, how often do you get that kind of recognition? And they said 2 to 3 times a year.
Oh, that's a huge discrepancy.
Yeah. And so one of you talked about myths about recognizing people. There's a lot of myths. Okay. And one of the myths that you kind of hinted to was, well, it costs too much. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to cost anything for you. And it costs very little for you to just even write a personal note that says, hey, thank you for doing this, and giving them a personalized thank you note. So it doesn't cost a lot. No. The other myth that I hear is, well, but if I start telling people they did a good job, they're going to expect it all the time. Well, guess what? They expect it already.
Well, yeah.
They already expect it. That's what that research shows. They expect to get recognized. Yeah. So just meet their recognition or their expectation that they're going to get acknowledged for good work 2 to 3 times a month. That's not that hard.
It's not that hard. And it speaks to Gallup's research, which teaches us that in 2026, even the survey is saying people want to feel like they belong, that they're connected to others, and that what they're doing matters.
Yep.
And that does it. If you just say, hey, nice job the other day on that presentation, or thank you for collecting all that data and getting that to me in a timely manner, or blah, 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 right? It's not, it's so simple and it's powerful.
Yeah. And if you have an annual reward program that recognizes 1% of your population once a year, you're not getting that for most of your team members.
No.
That's going to have to come from the direct leader to help them see that they're valued, what they do matters, and that people see them as people.
Wow, Mark, I could talk to you all day about this stuff. I just really appreciate your work so much. I'm going to Vanna your book one more time. Lead like a person, not like a position. And we're going to have all your links in the show notes and everything. Is there anything else? I want to give you the last word. Is there anything else you really want to tell the listeners or hone in or make sure, you get in there before we wrap things up?
I'll put a couple of things out there. Number one is, if you'll go to the website that's going to be in the show notes, leadlikeaperson.com.
Okay.
There's a link on there for a free resource. It's called 5 Mistakes That We Make with First-Time Leaders.
Ooh, nice.
And you can get that either as a video, as a 2-page PDF, or as just a quick summary in an Instagram type of format.
Nice.
And so, or infogram type of format. So that's there. If you're interested in that and kind of seeing a little more detail on these thoughts that I've had. The other point that I would leave with is, leading like a person doesn't mean you have to change your whole life or change your whole world. It means just being intentional about seeing people as people. Seeing
Mm-hmm.
people as you would want to be seen. And
Yes.
if you will do that, if you will take just that little extra time to get to know your people, that was a point you called out about the leader you loved. They knew
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yes.
Just get to know your people a little bit. And I loved your description of that. It was, we didn't go do things socially. They didn't know every detail of my life, but they knew who I was. They
Mm-hmm.
knew me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
If you will take the time to get to know who your people are and what they care about, it's easier to listen intently, communicate
Mm.
intentionally, and recognize individually.
Yes.
So
And it inspires people to show up in the way the company needs them to as well, doesn't it?
that's it. Your return
Really
on
does.
investment, the investment of the time that you put to treat people like people, will come back exponentially in the work that you get from them. And you don't want to do it with the intent of, okay, I'm going to manipulate my people so they'll do more work for me. It has to be real or they will see
Yeah.
through it. But just
Yeah.
get to know the people, treat them like people, and you will get the best out of your team.
Awesome. Well, and it just increases the humanity, which is what we want to do anyway, right? In all our circles, at work and in our communities and everywhere. So everyone wins with this approach. Thank you, Mark. It's just been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast today. I just thank you so, so much and appreciate your work so much. Please, everybody out there, go get his books, go check out his website, get the freebie. It sounds like a fantastic one. I'm going to go get it as well. And if people want to reach out, I assume that's obvious how to do that on your website. If they
Yep,
want to talk
you
to
can
you
reach out to
further.
me that way, or I would even offer look me up on LinkedIn. So
Okay, great.
look for Mark
Yeah.
Carpenter on LinkedIn. You'll see the lead like a person in there in my description. There's a lot of Mark Carpenters out there.
Oh, I bet.
If you got the video version, there's only one Mark Carpenter with this face, and so that's probably the easiest way to track me down.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you so, so much. And thanks,
Absolutely my
everybody,
pleasure.
for being with us today. What a pleasure. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye bye. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe to our show and share this episode with anyone who can benefit. If you'd like to learn more about how the kindness principles can change your life, please DM me on LinkedIn. And thanks again for listening.